is such an important video by Legendary Drops. Like, it's gonna sound a little conspiracy theorist. Can we watch the lizard plush and the lizard button? Yes. We can absolutely, in between videos, watch that. You don't even need to ask. My ADHD is still entertained by that.
Lizard, 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 lizard,
lizard. I don't know what it is, but it just hits all the buttons. Which, ironically, he's hitting a button. Right.
This video isn't just about the Game Pass price increases, by the way. That's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this story.
We don't even care. We don't even care.
I think that Microsoft is a threat to this industry, to their customers, and to the hobby as a whole. You know, in most cases,
Because ironically, this man's going to predict some things that literally happen after his video. And when you read it, like, read their announcement and stuff, you'll be like, holy crap, he's right. That's what they're trying to do.
Try to give you guys my opinion on things. I don't really like to try to tell people how to spend their money, mostly because it's none of my business to begin with, but
exactly. Like, this is why I don't understand why people dislike him. He's not pushing you to decide anything. He's just giving you the info. He don't care. Do you still defend him? Sure, go ahead. But this is the one time where he's like, hey, guys, let's not.
In this one rare case, I will say, if you care about this hobby, this is the last company that you want to be giving your money to. And that's not me being melodramatic. Let me make that clear. It wasn't until just recently that I realized just how absolutely disgusting some of their tactics have become.
Basically, after this point, I'm not going to be playing anything Microsoft. Anything Xbox. Nothing of it. Unless it's an old game, like Gears of War, because Slimy really wants me to play that with him, so I'm not going to say no to Slimy.
Their dream, what their vision for what gaming looks like in the future. What they're trying to make it look like in the future.
They absolutely are trying. If you look at the way they responded to the backlash, how they were like, we're just trying to give people what they want. They ignored the question.
You know, I had my predictions, but this is way beyond my wildest imagination.
Because that's the old Xbox, not necessarily Microsoft.
You know, with the price hikes that they had, that showed the direction that they were going in, but with some of their recent decisions, they just revealed their entire hand. I'm talking about jacking up hardware and game prices to be able to funnel more people towards their services and make them more...
They want you to go to Game Pass so that they can eventually able to open my eyes because I didn't have enough sleep. I swear, I think I only got to sleep after like 1 o'clock last night. So if I like doze off in the middle of the stream, please keep the memes to a minimum.
Reliant on those services. I'm talking about monetization schemes.
True. Like that's our only luck here, lock on. And I think he mentions it. The only thing going for us right now is the fact that all their games are bad.
Before you even boot up a game, why have a battle pass just in a game when you could have a battle pass in real life? Why have ads in the menus when you could have ads in the games? And oh, my favorite, why limit performance based on hardware when you could monetize that performance digitally?
Did you like anything he just said? Sure hope not. But I got news for you. It gets worse.
This is the world that Microsoft wants. Death by 1,000 cuts. You own nothing and they are making everything. I'm not even talking about Xbox anymore. I'm removing these guys from the conversation because it's
Xbox don't even have anything to do with it.
Really pretty obvious by now that Daddy's the one that's running the show. So
remember that Microsoft is in bed with BlackRock, and BlackRock buys up all these houses, makes them really expensive, and even the people that don't sell to them will get punished because all the houses around them are double their price. So that means that their house is now double the price, which means that they now have to pay double the property tax.
That's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how Microsoft is a threat to the industry, and I want to talk about how they don't just want your money today, they want your money every day.
They want your money when you're sleeping. They want it when you're awake. They want it yesterday.
This might be the first time that I sat down to talk about something, and I felt so much righteous indignation that I feel like I need to go throw some holy water on Microsoft's front door. We only just got done talking about how Xbox raised the prices on their hardware and accessories for the second time this year.
Remember, the Xbox is the games where they tried to put ads in the games for just a little bit, and it pissed off so many people. Oh, you can avoid them. You see Microsoft on the tag or Xbox on the tag? Nope.
With the Xbox Series X now reaching up to $800 and their so-called affordable Series S climbing up.
The reason they increased the price on those is they don't want you to buy those. They don't want you to own anything.
To $380, and now in a totally unprecedented and completely unpredictable move, Microsoft waited all of but 2 weeks before announcing major changes to Game Pass. Changes that, for whatever reason, most people either haven't noticed or haven't realized just how destructive they really are. On October 1st, Microsoft put out a statement.
And what's crazy about this announcement about their change in the Game Pass is they, one, never mentioned the price increase. Like, they went out of their way and refused to even mention the price increases. And then when they said they gave more stuff to justify the price increase, PC didn't get increased.
Just how destructive they really are. On October 1st, Microsoft put out a statement claiming that they had been listening to player feedback and that Xbox Game Pass was getting...
All those companies are basically bad anyways now. Don't need to worry about them. Ignore them. Go on Steam. Click ignore all games from this publisher. It's hard to do, but you can do it. I believe in all of you.
A much needed upgrade, but then what followed was nothing more than a
you should already have all their best
cloud
games.
Gaming and Ubisoft Plus classics, while console users were almost handed nothing of value. The biggest announcement that these guys made wasn't about features, it was about names.
And if you read the names, they're all supposed to give you a sense of, oh, I'm getting something really good. The names are like more spicy. They're not like bland or anything now. They're like, they're words associated with value or like a good idea.
Swaps, core to essential.
Essential. It's essential that you get this.
Standard to premium, just enough.
Premium. Usually considered like the best of the best.
Another layer of subliminal marketing designed to make the lowest common denominator feel like they're buying something of prestigious value. Guys, it's not the core experience anymore, it's the essential.
It's essential
experience. And while they padded that announcement with almost no meaningful changes,
you should already have all the good Bethesda games, Furry. You don't need to get any more.
There was one tiny little detail that they had left out entirely: the price hike. Something that players caught on to quickly on Twitter, pointing out that PC Game Pass was not mentioned despite saying every tier was getting upgraded.
Every tier was getting upgraded. It will see a 40% price increase with nothing new added. You will own nothing and be happy. Morning, Una. All right, you're gonna need to cut this out, Luck, and I need to go to the bathroom.
See,
there's a reason for that, Alan.
Increase
there's
with
a reason.
Nothing new being added from $11.99 to $16.49 monthly. Game Pass can no longer be acquired with reward points, an unmentioned change. So Xbox Game
do whatever you want, Luck.
Pass jacked up its pricing across the board, with Game Pass Ultimate now sitting at $29.99. The so-called best deal in gaming is now halfway to...
Notice that they only put UK, Australia, and US here. How much you want to bet? There's a reason for that.
The price of a full game every single month, and people were rightfully furious outside of the dedicated dick eaters, but the backlash was so intense that it even caused Microsoft's membership site to crash just from the flood of cancellations. Now, none of this comes as a shock to me. You guys have heard me go after Game Pass and subscription models before.
I've never once supported it because I knew that this was the path, but I didn't know how bad that they were trying to go. Ooh, thank you for the meds. Actually, I completely forgot about them. Both? That's just funny.
Microsoft has always wanted Xbox to become Netflix. This has been the plan since the Xbox 360 was the first home device to put Netflix on home TV screens. It's why the Xbox One was marketed as a TV box more than a console. It's why Game Pass was born in the first place. The model has always been the same: hook you in cheap and then year after year crank up the price while locking more and more behind tier.
Booka is so very cute. Oh, god damn it, Bree.
So it wasn't these changes that caught me off guard. No, it was the subtle changes that nobody seemed to notice, and those changes made my stomach drop. Not because of what they did, but because of what they're setting up for. During the announcement, I kept hearing these buzzwords: more value, exclusive features,
more value, exclusive features,
extra rewards, and then right at the end, they casually slipped in, Xbox Ultimate gives you our best quality and our shortest wait times for...
That's a big drop right there. Notice they said shortest wait times. You're like, wait, what?
Cloud gaming, and that's when it clicked. Oh no, here it comes. Look at the tiers. Their first one promises unlimited.
Now playable on PC, console, and cloud. Remember, cloud and benefits including unlimited cloud gaming. Okay. And then look, unlimited cloud gaming with shorter wait times. Huh. And then this one says unlimited cloud gaming at our best quality with the shortest wait timers. Huh?
Unlimited cloud gaming. The next says unlimited cloud gaming with our shortest wait times.
By the way, basically they're just telling you that we're putting ads in it.
And the last, unlimited cloud gaming with our best quality and shortest wait times. Now, on the surface, this sounds like meaningless fluff, but dig deeper and you find out what's actually happening. This hike is not about Game Pass. It's about carving up cloud gaming itself into speed and quality tiers. Now, while we've seen this kind of thing from Nvidia's streaming, Microsoft is far more influential, and they're now making you pay for more resolution, frame rate, and download priority. And if that wasn't dystopian enough, every single tier now dangles more rewards through their loyalty system, turning Game Pass itself.
It's a battle pass for real life. But it's the shittiest battle pass ever, because from what I understand from the people that actually like did all the math, you will never get some of this stuff. Like, you're just not gonna, you're gonna have to save up years to get the, like, actually, like, okay stuff.
Into a battle pass of its own. Not only are they
max in-store value you can earn per year. They say it's a big number, but actually you can't even actually get there unless you like play 24 hours a day.
Actually playing games in the first place. Essential and Premium get you 10 to 17 megabits per second at 1080p.
Notice how they're monetizing how good your game can look.
While Ultimate will jump you up to 27 megabits per second if you want 1440p. And on top of that, every single Game Pass tier now gives you a different amount of reward points depending on what you're actually paying for. And at first, I thought it was really odd when that community note had said that Game Pass can no longer be acquired with reward points. But what I didn't realize was that Microsoft,
they made it where you can't get the Game Pass with the points as well.
had already essentially turned Game Pass itself into a battle pass. Depending on what tier you have, you're getting daily reward points, quests for playing games. You
get quests.
You can play games for 2 hours at a time every single week, and a bunch of other meaningless tasks.
You get extra points for purchasing stuff for the thing that's supposed to let you play games for cheaper, but still spend money.
Those points can be redeemed for cosmetics, merch, gift cards, and before this change, you could renew your Game Pass subscription with them. Exactly like how Call of Duty, Fortnite, and Apex Legends were structured with their battle passes until those devs ripped out those features because players were getting the service for free just by playing the game. Now, some of you guys are probably going to try to shrug this off, saying it's cloud gaming, a glorified reward system, but the point is, this is a canary in the coal mine, a glimpse of what Microsoft actually wants to happen to the future of this hobby. I've been asking myself recently, why has Microsoft been so casual about jacking up prices and so aggressive about it, even though they're dead last in the console generation?
Like, why would they do that if no one's really getting them? Merc, you want to be smited? Waka, could you smite Merc for 5 minutes? Because I can't click on him through this.
Nintendo and Sony have outsold them 3-1, yet here we are with Xbox having the most expensive hardware on the market. They were the first to follow Nintendo's lead when Mario Kart World launched at $80. They raised their prices on their accessories. They briefly pulled back on the charge for $80 for Outer Worlds 2, but then they confirmed that next year those prices are still going to increase. And
those prices are still going to increase. They're going to ignore you.
On top of that, they
know you don't want that.
Recently announced their Asus ROG Xbox handheld, $600 for the base model, $1,000.
It's more expensive than the Steam Deck, yet it's not as good as the Steam Deck because it's not modular. It does not have full support. Oh, and Microsoft can see everything you do on it, by the way. Oh, and you can't add mods to it. Oh, and if you open it up, sorry, no repairs for you.
For the high-end one, these are insane prices for a company that is bleeding money, yet they just keep doubling down. What's going on? Well, with these changes to Game Pass prices, it all makes sense. Microsoft doesn't care if hardware or game ownership become unaffordable to the middle class and below. In fact, that's exactly what these guys are trying to do. They don't
want you
buying boxes or discs. They want you guys funneled into services like Game Pass and xCloud because that's where they hold the keys and you own nothing. This is the exact same logic that is driving the housing market right now. Corporations are buying up entire neighborhoods.
He says corporations, it's mainly just BlackRock.
Pricing them out of reach. They're waiting patiently, and then they're just pushing people towards rental properties they own. Why let you buy and own anything when they can make way more money off of renting it back to you forever? That is the exact same model that Microsoft wants for gaming. This has been their plan all along. Consoles, physical games, hardware, hell, even Game Pass as we know it, none of these things have ever been Microsoft's end game. Their bet has always been cloud gaming. Ownership in any form is like holy water to these.
You're gonna make them regret they don't care, furry. They'll care when they're allowed to, like, report you to police, though. Because then you've already purchased all this stuff. If you're not purchasing enough, they'll just report you to the police and say, hey, he downloaded manga. Because, like, theoretically, their plan is also to make manga illegal.
Guys, because the second that you own something, they lose control over how you access it, when you access it, and how they can monetize it. This entire thing, it started back with the Xbox One era, and none of us ever noticed. Microsoft was trying to fast forward this future by introducing DRM licenses to try to stop you from trading or reselling your games. Sony luckily humiliated them with their infamous how to share games ad. Microsoft backpedaled, but digital distribution solved that problem for them. And now the more that I look at where they're headed, how they're pricing cloud gaming, how they're gamifying the service itself, I don't even think these guys want you even downloading games anymore because streaming gives them total control. Before you ask, no way, these guys are losing money. That doesn't even make any sense. My hometown, average house, it's in the Midwest.
This is going to sound dystopian to you guys.
It's like $200,000 a home.
But it's happening.
I went home just recently. BlackRock bought an entire neighborhood and priced all of the houses between $700,000 and $800,000. These guys do not care about losing money right now. They will sit and wait patiently. They have all the money and all the time in the world. All they're trying to do is take away options. Microsoft is a company that is worth $4
and they are backed and supported by BlackRock.
trillion. They do not care how long it takes for this plan to play out. They will wait. That's what's going to happen. How has nobody noticed that this entire Game Pass reward system program is literally just there to keep their retention and their player numbers up for their shareholders? Play a game for 2 hours every single week. I wonder why they want you to do that. You know, I don't usually like this flavor of language because I think it's overused and hyperbolic.
And also, they can buff certain games to get you to play those games and say, see, look, we've got increased engagement across the board in this game. We're doing good.
This is straight up late stage capitalism. This is corporate authoritarianism is what it is. This is some straight up cyberpunk shit that we're looking at right now. I mean, if you take the time to think about it, Microsoft already has xCloud and Game Pass services on select smart TVs right now. If they get it on Sony's PlayStation, if they get it on Nintendo's hardware, next stop for these guys is not making hardware anymore. Then after that, what they're going to do is they're going to stop selling their games entirely.
Yeah. I think we need to implement a law that says companies cannot own more than like 1 or 2 houses in an entire like thing. And if it's a company that doesn't primarily deal with construction, actually no, scratch that, because I don't want construction companies going into this. I think if you own more than like say 3 houses, you have to sell them at base price. You cannot increase the price. You must prove their worth. If all these other houses are 200,000, you can't sell yours for 800,000 unless yours is clearly way better. Like yours is like 3 extra stories or 2 extra stories and just jam-packed with extra stuff inside of it.
Entirely. Then they're going to stop letting you even download the games to begin with. And there you go.
They got you. You pay money or you pay nothing.
That's it. Now they got full control. No more piracy, no more ownership, and they can microtransact these games as much as they want.
I don't think there's actually a law that stops them from buying houses. That's the scary thing. There should be a law that stops any company from owning all these buildings. Because that's literally the antithesis of America. You're making it where it's impossible to own a house.
Before you even play them, they can sell
Not
you
everyone's
speeds,
a
they can
millionaire.
sell you queue times, they can
Very
sell
few
you
people
frame
are
rate,
millionaires.
they can sell you
So why are all these
resolution,
houses $1 million?
whatever they want. Well, it's not going to happen right now. This is the plan for the future, and I'm here to warn you about it. Luckily, we have options. We have a lot of other options. We have better options, much better options. Also, lucky for us, their games largely suck, and these guys are really hard pushing into AI right now, and that technology is in its infancy still from my perspective, which is only going to come at a cost to the quality of their games even more. But I think it's really important to send a clear message that we want to have nothing to do with this. If you have the option to have nothing to do with this, I highly recommend to have nothing to do.
He's right. Highly recommend. The same here. I highly recommend you have nothing to do with them.
With this, because if you guys think this is bad, you're gonna love what I have to say next. If you ever want to know what the future of this industry looks like, the best place to check isn't what developers are saying or even what publishers are saying. It's what business analysts are pushing, because these guys are the ones with the connections to the guys at the top, and they don't give a damn about the players or the experience.
Yeah,
all they care about is where the money goes. A few days ago, Push Square ran an article titled "Sony is a terrible company that's blowing it in the games business," says Mike.
What's crazy is, as bad as Sony is, also realize that Sony is kind of in with BlackRock as well. But what's crazy is, for whatever reason, PlayStation hasn't increased prices at all. Like at all. Which is weird. Because I thought they're like the worst company. But I'm thinking, did their CEO get changed or something?
Michael Pachter. Now, if you guys don't know who Michael Pachter is,
Michael Pachter is a snake and a blight upon this world.
he's a business analyst for Wedbush Securities, one of the biggest wealth management and advisory firms in the country. He's built his entire career off of telling investors where to put their money, and right now his favorite company is Netflix, and that should tell you exactly where this is going. In the article, the writer Liam Croft quotes Pachter when talking about the recent investments into EA and whether or not Sony is worthy of investment, saying, no, Sony for sure not. Sony is a terrible company. They're actually blowing it in the games business. Games are moving to connect to TV, so think about the participants that are going to deliver the way we get movies via Netflix. Forget subscription models. Just think about iOS becoming your TV. So free-to-play games on your TV, who's going to deliver that? Cloud providers, AI. Now, Pachter never directly names Microsoft, but let's not kid ourselves. That's exactly who he's talking about. Outside of Amazon.
And notice, ever since then, they've started doing things slowly, but started doing things the opposite of how they had been. Before, they were basically BlackRock and pushing all of the messages BlackRock's been trying to like shove in everywhere.
They're the only player in the industry that's positioned in both of those markets, and they already have their game services connected to TVs. Besides that, Game Pass is already baked into some Amazon Fire Sticks, but the key detail here is the Netflix comparison and the direct-to-TV access. That's what investors are bullish on, and that's exactly the path that Microsoft is following right now, which means the next logical step, the most lucrative step, is obvious. xCloud and Game Pass will eventually be pivoting to free-to-play with ads.
They're going to go to ads. They've already done it. They actually, literally after this video, not like, I think it was not even 24 hours after he posted this, Xbox announced that they had an ad.
Just subscriptions, but ad-driven TV gaming. And you don't have to take my word for it. Microsoft's own game CFO, Tim Stewart, has already said
they're shoving ads into your games.
Much. See, back in 2023, The Verge ran an article titled Microsoft Exec Hints at Free Ad-Supported Xbox Cloud Gaming, where Tom Warren wrote, Microsoft currently offers free access to Fortnite on Xbox cloud gaming service xCloud, but there are signs that the company may offer free game streaming in exchange for ads.
I already pay you to use my own internet. They were, but I think now they're not free. Because I saw where BlackRock had a little bit of money in there, but I doubt they probably
Gaming
divested
CFO
them.
Tim Stewart hinted at the prospect in a Wells Fargo TMT Summit interviewed last month, spotted by Tweaktown. The vision that I like to talk about is we have xCloud game streaming, so you can subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate and you can stream hundreds of games to really any endpoint that has a browser experience, explained Stewart. For models like Africa or India or Southeast Asia, maybe places that aren't console first, you can say, hey, do you want to watch 30 seconds of ad and get 2 hours of game streaming?
Did that sound wonderful to you guys?
And this is when it all clicked for me, because I just recently saw Paul Tossi mention a comment that
it actually doubled in Brazil. It's at a price point now that it's quite literally not feasible to pay that. It's a 10th of what they make a month. That's terrifying.
Game Pass in Brazil has doubled in price from
they'll make you watch 30
real
minutes
a
of
month
ads.
to 120 real a month in a country where the average household per capita income is around 2,000 real. That makes Game Pass a wildly expensive luxury. Microsoft's plan isn't just to increase the prices in the US, it's to make the service completely unaffordable to lower income economies and then funnel those players into free ad-supported versions, test it there first, and then slowly but surely bring it to the West. South America, Africa, Southeast Asia, these regions do not have very many options. That's why piracy has always been so strong out there, but
their goal is to basically, I don't like piracy, but I can't really get rid of it because it's literally a service issue. But I don't want to deal with that. So what if you just don't own anything and you never own anything? That way, piracy doesn't have to be even an issue because piracy can't even touch it.
Also makes these guys the easiest targets for ad-driven gaming and free-to-play. Look at some of the most popular games that they play out there. If the choice is between no games at all or sitting through some ads for access, a lot of these players are going to tolerate that, and Microsoft knows it. Rolling it out in the West would just spark an open rebellion, so instead they're going after the most vulnerable audiences, pitching it as an act of generosity and ignoring the fact that they are the ones who engineered the problem in the first place. I know a lot of
Create the problem, sell the solution.
people are probably going to call me a conspiracy theorist, but I promise you this is only the beginning. Just look at what happened with TV and movies. We went from owning VHS tapes, DVDs, and Blu-rays to owning nothing but a screen and paying more than ever for 10 different subscription services, constantly upgrading just to be able to avoid ads.
Yeah,
Technology.
half it's a surface issue. The other half is I literally can't because no one will let me access this content or not like feasibly access. Talk about you, Nintendo.
So fast. This is the future that these guys are priming us for, and I can promise you it is coming sooner than anyone thinks. I don't know, man. I only see this going downhill from here. Microsoft is one of the wealthiest, most influential companies on the planet. They have maintained an effective monopoly for years, buying out emerging competitors before they even had a chance. And gaming.
That's why they've stayed on top, by the way, is they've always purchased companies that started to kick off. If this company looks like it'll be a problem in like 5-10 years, nope, purchase it now. That way, the FTC doesn't even look at that because that's a really tiny company you're buying. It's like, what is that doing? What it's actually doing is creating a place where they cannot have competition.
Is nothing to these guys. Microsoft makes up just 8% of Microsoft's total revenue. That means this entire industry is basically just a guinea pig for them, a long-term play they can afford to just sit on and wait until they've cornered the market entirely. Every single move up.
Well, no, if you listen to the further of it, you'll understand what I mean by like, Merc. You'll understand what I mean.
Till now, every acquisition, every strategy, it has all been building towards this one conclusion, turning games into a service-based hellscape, just like movies and television, where convenience turned into inconvenience, where cheap turned into expensive, and it's all being driven by the profits for the few. Anytime I think about these subscription services, all I can do is just think back to the blowback over Ubisoft's leadership saying that players just need to get comfortable, not...
Remember, this is the same company. Same company said this.
Owning their games, and Larian Studios' Sven Vinka warning the industry of the dangers of subscription service.
And Sven is not wrong with what he says, because I read this exact post and I was like, yeah, he's right.
Services and what they pose to the industry, saying, whatever the future of gaming looks like, content will always be king, but it's going to be a lot harder to get good content if subscriptions become the dominant model and the select group gets to decide what goes to market and what not.
If we allow this to happen, it's literally a Visa and MasterCard situation. They'll get to decide what they sell. And they'll have more, like, legal foothold, too, because they're a selling platform. They'll have full control over what they sell. They'll get to decide what they sell.
From developer to player is the way. Getting a board to okay a project fueled by idealism is almost impossible, and idealism needs room to exist, even if it can lead to disaster. Subscription models will always end up being a cost-benefit analysis exercise intended to maximize profit. There is nothing wrong with that, but it may not become a monopoly of subscription services. We are already all dependent on a select group of digital distribution platforms, and discoverability is brutal.
Literally, he's talking about PC, Xbox, Sony, Nintendo.
Should those platforms all switch to subscription, it'll become savage. In such a world, by definition, the preference of subscription services will determine what games get made. Trust me, you really don't want that. The reason I'm so passionate about...
Basically, if a subscription model thing gets made, you want to know what the first kind of games stop getting made? Games like what Sven's company made. Baldur's Gate 3? That won't be allowed. That's too long of a game, too much content, no monetization in it? No, that's not allowed.
this and why I'm making a warning and a big fuss out of
I
something
didn't make
like
money
this,
for
while a
my
lot of people
money.
are probably going to think it's a lot smaller than what it is because if their model and their plan succeeds, then it becomes the dominant model for the entire industry, because that's how these industries work. It's worked in movies and television. It'll work here just like any other piece of entertainment.
It still is, Furry. The best way to combat piracy is literally just make it more accessible. That's why I always got confused when they started raising prices over and over and over. Mama! Hi, Mama. Thank you for the raid, guys. We're learning why you should never buy another Microsoft game.
In music as well, right? Most people don't own CDs anymore. Everybody just listens to their music on YouTube, or they listen to their music on Spotify, which also have.
That was Muma. Nani?
Advertising, and you have to pay to not have that advertising there. That's just how.
Oh, and by the way, even if you pay, you'll have some advertising because we still need to make money on top of our money that we're making with money.
Higher technology works. It's how these industries work. And if subscription services, streaming services become the dominant model, it doesn't just go to, oh, I have to pay extra money. Oh, I don't get to own anything. It goes past that, and they start actually dictating what you do and don't receive so far as content. What content actually gets approved. We already see that with TV. And
for those of you joining in late, basically what he's saying is, if this becomes a thing, it's not a far cry to say that they basically get to say, you only get super vanilla. You don't get any of the funny stuff. You don't get any of the raunchy stuff. You get nothing but what they want to give you.
TV and movies specifically, right? Because look, it's a lot of these movies have the same actors, the same tone, the same writing, the same themes, the same politics. You're going to see that exact same thing in video games as well. The one thing that's working to our favor in all of this is that largely their games suck, Xbox specifically, but also AAA as a whole for the most part lately. They're all really pushing us towards indie and independent games. It's just, I don't know what it is, man. With some of these, it's not even some of these, it's almost all of these AAA games at this point. I sit down to play them and I'm just not there. I just don't care anymore. I don't know what it is. I think it's just they all feel the same, or they're telling the same story with the same gameplay. And it's just, I'm just tired of it. And that's working to our favor, because that makes these services and their games a lot less interesting, and us a lot less interested in them. You know, I saw one creator talk about this, and I think they were probably responding to IGN's coverage on it, because they were saying Xbox is going to be known for greed. This entire generation is going to be known for greed. And they're right, at least in my eyes. But this creator was essentially alluding to the fact that it's not them that's the problem, it's the system that's the problem.
I hear this a lot, and I've kind of changed my opinion. It's not capitalism that's the problem. It's the person using capitalism to make the problem.
I'm saying that it's capitalism that's broken and needs to be fixed. And from my perspective, you don't blame the tool, you blame the operator. And when I look out there and I see companies like Larian Studios that know how to...
Like I was saying, Larian Studios is probably one of the few bright spots.
To make sure that they're looking out for both their best interests and our best interests at the exact same time. They do a damn good job at handling both and balancing both. They're not alone. That alone proves that it is not the car, it's the one that's driving it. Right now, the way those guys are driving that car, they're driving it into a wall with us in the passenger seat. I'll be honest with you, man, I can't keep up. This year is just, I can't be the only one that's noticed that this year has to be the greediest year we have ever seen in the games industry. I've never seen so many things with price changes, with monetization, with live service, with all of these different things. And
they're trying to fast track it. They're tired of waiting. They want money. Give money. We're failing. Our investors are starting to breathe down our necks.
Well, it's made for a lot of content. It just does not make things look good in the future. And I think now more than ever, now more than ever, it's never been more important that you make sure that you're giving your time, your money, your attention, all of it to the right people. So think about who they are. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Comment down below. Let me know. Am I crazy? Am I not crazy?
He's
Am
not
I
crazy.
the prophet?
Like, I looked into all of it.
Anyway, follow me on Twitch.
That was
follow
part of the
me on-
reason I was like so like freaking out in my bed. I'm like, holy crap. Because I was like going to bed to this. Because sometimes I just watch a video I'm not planning on showing chat. And I'm like, it's probably just more about Xbox Game Pass. But, I mean, it's got like one of those smooth voices that's like easy to like kind of like half focus on. And then I heard half of this and I was like, oh my god. Existential dread.
Twitter, I've been raving about this entire thing the entire time on Twitter. I'll catch you guys on stream, actually. Today should be Friday. Hope you guys show up. Peace.
Peace.
Stay cool, stay right, just stay safe. I'm sorry it's late. Peace.
Family. But yeah. That was Legendary Drops, like I said. Alright. It took too many clicks to cancel my Game Pass. That's what I was telling you, Furry. And the day that they announced this, the site was crashing when people trying to cancel it. That's how many people were canceling. Because, while you may not have the same realization as Legendary Drops, you still see how bad that is. You still see some of it. Some of it is obvious. Warhammer tomorrow react. Warhammer tomorrow react. Warhammer react tomorrow. I don't know why I was saying it out of order like that. Let's go!
We just witnessed a legal manga platform get shut down by payment processors. Payment processors literally tightened the noose around their necks so tightly that they had no other choice but to literally shut their entire digital platform down. Like, look at this article, okay? The date of this article is literally at the beginning of this year, back in January, at the end of January for, clarification, and it says payment method provider Stripe to no longer work with Manga Planet service. Now, for those that don't know what Stripe is, it is pretty much payment processors, aka Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, etc. It works with them. Pretty much, it's, the main person that shuts off.
Like I said before, they need to be regulated because they seem to think that they decide what we can and can't have and can and can't enjoy. And this is a legal means, by the way. This is the quotation marks legal way to enjoy manga. And they won't allow us that. So all those companies can blame payment processors for pirating getting bigger.
People alongside of Visa, MasterCard, and all of them, associated. So this is payment processors doing what they do best by stopping you from making legal purchases. But anyways, this happened back in January of this year. And you fast forward about 8 months, not even 9 months, about 8 months, almost 9 months, and you have Manga Planet shuts down digital platform on March 31st. And for those thinking that this is just clickbait and maybe this article is wrong.
No, that I can actually tell you, I've tried to go to Manga Planet a while ago and it wasn't up. It's down. It's gone.
Straight to their main site, they even indicate the reason why this has happened. So let's read their official statement here that came out literally today. Thank you so much for supporting Manga Planet since our launch in 2019. Through our digital subscription service and platform, our team has worked to increase legal access to manga in English and ways for artists and publishers to receive support for their work. Over the years, access to manga has evolved, and we are happy to see an increasing number of legal ways for readers to enjoy and support manga. However, due to various circumstances like recent restrictions from payment processors and the changing online landscape, our team has found it difficult to continue.
Like, people seem to not understand this, but pirating is not itself a crime. In that pirating is a service issue. if you have a good service, pirating does nothing to it. Because the people that would use it at that point were never going to buy it in the first place. And when you take away pirating, like even when you make it almost impossible to use, no revenue increase, if at all. Like, it's like less than 1%. It's like 1% of 1%. If that. No one loses money, Una. Because it's been proven time and time again with, like, studies and, like, different, like, looks at it, that usually the people that pirate just can't get access to the item. Or it's way too expensive, or it's, like, priced out of that area. So you stopping the pirate of that thing does not increase the profits of the thing. Lizard, Shizu, you wanna play games?
With saddening hearts, we plan to close Manga Planet's digital service at the end of March 2026. While we will no longer operate an independent digital platform, we will shift focus to print license and continue our print releases through our Manga Planet label and VisualKeiBecca imprints.
What I do, since, like, I doubt this is news to anyone, I'm sick and stressed. Since this is probably not news to anyone, I sail the high seas when it comes to manga. But whenever I get the money to, and I enjoyed certain manga, I buy it. Pirating is literally the only reason I know about half the manga I know about. I say half, 90%. Otherwise, like, I'd go to the bookstore once a month, maybe. And I might, like, 30% chance maybe buy one. But it'd be one I already know about. I'm not gonna, like, experiment at the bookstore with my money. So it's really, pirating does nothing. Like, all pirating does really is make companies honest. And that's why I don't think it should ever be gotten rid of. Because without it, companies have almost no incentive to be honest. And yeah, like, if there's an ebook that's out of print or got removed because some woman or Karen got butthurt that author wouldn't talk to them or something, guess what? I could still get it. That's what pirating is. It's just a alternative access, in my opinion.
Below is our closure schedule for Manga Planet's digital platform. Any updates or changes will be made through our website and official social media accounts. And here's the timeline of when everything is going to be shutting down. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the situation. So pretty much, we had payment processors go on their crusade, shutting down or debanking a bunch of different sites and companies in Japan, or official means with content and even 18 plus or adult.
You are not the moral leash holders. You don't get to decide what people purchase with you, because no one cares what you're allowing to be purchased. You're just there to facilitate a purchase. So them saying that it doesn't uphold your standards or values, that doesn't damn matter. Do I care what you allow to be purchased? No. I'm not even thinking about that. Yeah, that's really what it's going to do. It's just going to create a black market for this stuff. That's all it's going to do. Like, but yeah, like, you are a payment processor. You are a necessary, like, cog for us to use our money. Nowhere in that description says also you uphold arbitrary values and morals. Don't give a damn. Someone uses you to buy cocaine, that's their prerogative. They want to get addicted and ruin their life, that's their prerogative. Someone buys very, like, messed up porn or something, that's their issue. Not your issue. You facilitate the purchase, that's all you do. You are not there to be a moral compass. That is not your... You don't have that right. Like, I'll give it to them that they're allowed to, like, try to defend the whole legality. Like, purchasing drugs and stuff like that, obviously. But, big but, only so much as is reasonable. Like, you can't look into their financials and find out they're buying drugs and stop them. They try to buy drugs and it pops up on your thing as drugs, you can deny the purchase. Sure, I suppose, since that's, you know it's illegal, you can be like, we don't do illegal purchases and stuff like that. Other than that, I don't think you should be allowed to say whether or not they can purchase. If they have the money, if they want to purchase, they can purchase.
Content, you have these payment processors go out of their way and pretty much stop people from buying legal content. That's what they did. They got in the way of it. And I've already talked about this time and time again on why this is wrong, so I'm not going to get back into that subject. The point of the matter is that they did some mafia tactics. They forced these sites...
It's quite literally that they're being the mafia. They're deciding what you can and can't purchase. They're overreaching massive bounds. Like, they are way overreaching. Like, I don't look... To give you an idea why they have no right to decide what you can and can't purchase, I'm not looking... I find out someone bought porn or something, I don't care. My first thought isn't, how dare that credit card company? What's their credit card company? I'm not asking that. I don't care. You know what that means? You've got no legal ground to stand on. All these people are lucky that I didn't go in to law school. All of them. I'd be on TikTok and YouTube as people label me the best damn judge they've ever seen, because I would hire lawyers to sue these places as a judge. Like, I'd circumvent the bar, basically. I'd be like, I'd put these lawyers onto the subject, and I'd make sure that they'd get me, just so I could grill and roast these companies. I'd be like, where's your legal ground to stand on here, sir? Explain.
Or whatever to comply. If they don't comply, they will die. That's legit what happened to Manga Planet. They have had...
That's why I said I'd circumnavigate the bar. That'd be my only part of conflict of interest. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be very fair. If they have an actual solid reason, I'll rule in favor of them. But guess what? They don't. So I'll never have to
change their entire company operation because of what payment processors have done to them, because of the debanking that was done to them thanks to Stripe, Visa, MasterCard, and all them. It is absolutely insane how this is still happening, and they're getting away with it. And this puts in perspective why...
Let me remind you guys, it's probably being killed because the credit card companies are telling YouTube to kill it. But know that you can quite literally cost them millions of dollars. Just call their help desk, whatever card you use. If you use Stripe, call them. And sit on the phone with them for however long you want. Pick a day where you got nothing to do. Just sit there and talk to them. Have them read you act like an old man or an old woman and have them read you the EULA. They have to do it. You're a customer. And then at the end of the call, be like, oh, and by the way, I would like to purchase this. Could you please stop denying my purchases? And then hang up. Because it costs them, I think it's like so much money per minute.
Steam and itch bow down so quickly. I've already talked about this, but I think this is a very good point to reiterate this, is that we look at the damage here. There's already many examples of the damage that these payment processors have done. I mean, this company alone...
And if we help this stop, all these companies can go in and sue these places. Because right now they can't. They have no way to get money. But if we support them enough, all these companies can like band together and just sue MasterCard, Stripe.
Change their entire operation says enough. But we even have Kadokawa a while back, literally a month ago or almost 2 months ago, call out payment processors for why they have, you know, lower subscriptions, why they have, you know, actual income or revenue discrepancies is because of payment processors. Like, if you look at this outline section, this is straight from Kadokawa's financial results. They say the company attributes this primarily to a decrease in premium paid subscriptions caused by credit card payments being suspended on the platform for months for what they did to Nico Nico. So Kadokawa already has called them out about 2 months ago. They have actively damaged multiple brands, and if you don't play ball with them, they will hurt you. And even if
I don't think they should be allowed to do that. I don't think they should be allowed to damage a brand. You yourself are a brand. You should not be allowed to affect another brand.
You do play
with
ball
your
with them,
arbitrary
they're still gonna hurt
decisions.
you. Let's look at what's happening at Steam right now. Let's look at what's happening at itch.io. It's so many creators and developers that just been left into the...
I think Steam, itch.io, and all these manga companies and anime companies should be allowed to class action lawsuit collectively all the credit card companies, and they as a group have to pay back however much money these companies lost. And it's probably in the billions at this point.
Wind that don't have any source of income right now. The point of the matter is that
because that's months of manga subscriptions, manga purchases, anime purchases, anime subscriptions, merchandise,
and a continued increase of just absolute nefarious, absolute evil acts by these payment processors, literally controlling them.
And them trying to claim it's a moral high ground and stuff. They allow OnlyFans and stuff like that. That's real people and stuff. Like, this is the whole what word is the worst word argument. If you won't even show the other one, that's the worst one. I can show a sus picture of an anime waifu, but I won't show a sus picture of a real person. It's two fundamentally different things.
Market, stopping people from legally purchasing things that are legal, but they completely stop you. You throw in the fact of, like, ID, real ID, age verification that's ongoing on the internet. All these companies are in bed with each other to really just control everyone. And it's just super freaking gross. Just all this back-to-back stuff happening.
It is very gross.
But it really pisses me off that Manga Planet legit...
Time memorial, every single time a government or company has said it's protected children or something, it has been proven that children were either unaffected at all or it did nothing to protect the children. Like, children themselves were able to circumnavigate the said protection easily. Some of these protections are literally like a baby could figure them out. Children are typically smarter than adults because they have more brain power, typically, because they have, like, more of the, like, I learn faster stuff. Like, I'm sorry? Who are you helping? Who are you protecting?
Legitimately is a legal service. It's completely legal that offered legal manga to read online, digital service, and they literally debate them to such a point that they can't even operate. They have to do a full-blown announcement of closure of their Manga Planet digital platform. You realize how insane that is? That's crazy. But to also put this in perspective, you know what this does too? This gives Crunchyroll, which already technically has a monopoly, a bigger monopoly. I mean, think about it, for instance. Crunchyroll literally announced...
Literally, Crunchyroll is existing. You're making Crunchyroll a bigger monopoly. It's already a monopoly. You're making it a bigger one. How much you want to bet money that they're in bed with Crunchyroll and Sony?
Pumpkins are a figment of your imagination. Pumpkins are a figment of your imagination. Pumpkins are a figment of your imagination.
No, they're not. I'm gonna stab you.
A few days ago, they're doing a manga app. They're adding it to their new subscription service.
Ooh, they're adding a manga app to their subscription service. I wonder why they'd be able to do that. Could be that all these other manga sites are being pushed out, so there's, like, space now for them. Nah, it could be that.
This happens around the exact same time.
It's a bit too much of a coincidence.
But still, this definitely makes Crunchyroll's...
It's way too much of a coincidence. It's a bit too, like, helpful an event. And it's, like, so well perfectly timed. Because people forget, it takes a lot of, like, moving parts to, like, start up a new platform or something. Or start up a new, like, segment of your platform. So they just happen to have all the steps ready and are releasing their manga thing now? Right when all these other manga sites are getting pushed off? And getting, like, censored and stuff? No one else thinks that's a bit too funny of a coincidence?
Power in the environment of the manga and anime world a lot stronger and more concrete. Their foundation
Who currently owns? Probably BlackRock or something. Give me a sec. I'll check. Let's see. Sony Group Corporation owns it. Let me look at this. Oh my god. I wonder why I wonder why. I wonder why. Look at the top 3. Can I show this? I'll go here. Master Trust Bank, Custody Bank, JP Morgan Chase, BlackRock. That's a lot of banks and BlackRock. Aren't these the banks that are stopping the other manga sites? Huh. No, I said it. I knew Sony owned it, but I wanted to know who exactly had shares in it and stuff. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. I wonder which some of the main banks that are pushing this stuff. It totally wouldn't be JP Morgan or Master Trust or Custody. No. By the way, these 2 banks owned by the same person. Like the same people. Custody Bank and Master Trust Bank, they're owned by the same people. So, 20% in Sony. 23% technically, because I think BlackRock has a few of the same people as well. So they basically own 1/4 of Sony. So if you're wondering why Sony has been doing a lot of dumb stuff that doesn't exactly help them, it's because 1/4 of their board kind of all votes the same. You know, as you do when you own a large portion of a company.
Toppable at this point with just how much strength they have within the industry. But to make things even worse...
Which, by the way, if you just realized that, JP Morgan is the one that has all the debt for EA, and it's owned by and they're part of Sony, basically. I wonder how many EA games go exclusively PlayStation for a while.
Also mention the fact that they talk about not just payment processors, but the changing of the online landscape. This one is a very interesting statement. And I think what this more or less is saying is the change of, like, probably age verification, ID, obviously payment processors, and I also think it probably comes into the whole encroachment of Crunchyroll, or Sony in this case, buying up pretty much the entire market. Now,
and they're buying up the market with the help of the banks, and the banks are pushing out all the competition so that they can also buy the competition. Oh yeah, I know about Bridge.
Let's dig a little bit deeper into Manga Planet for a second, because many people might be unaware of them. Manga Planet does house a lot of different old manga and stuff like that, but they do have a lot of adult content. And even if you find adult content icky, you don't like it, whatever, I'm gonna say the same thing I've always said. Just because you don't like
Wasn't
it
it
doesn't
more
mean
than
it
2 years ago,
exist. It
Alan?
is legal content, and if you allow it to be censored and completely removed, eventually that censorship and that stopping or the interference of these other companies will trickle down to affecting your stuff. Let's look at Steam. Steam is a good example of this. Itch is a good example of this. Look at, Patreon, for instance, that happened years ago. If you allow these companies to continue doing stuff like this, it will hit you. Just because you don't like adult content, because you don't like these certain tags or whatever, doesn't mean that it's acceptable to allow them to disappear. Because it's legal purchasable content, and
here's the issue. Realize they shut the whole site down. That's not just adult content, that's all the content. And they're happy with that. They didn't just get rid of the thing you disliked some and didn't care to see. They got rid of all your stuff too. Because they could, because you're letting them.
these companies think that they have a right to stop you from spending your money how you want to spend your money on legal content. That's the problem there. Now,
like no one's saying they can't stop the illegal stuff. Like missiles and fully functional tanks and stuff. And, like, super illegal drugs. Which, I'll remind you, some drugs turn out to be legal later on because they don't actually do anything. Or they have way more health benefits than they have negative side effects. Always remember that. Drugs are one checkbox away from being legal. Half the time. But, yeah. No one's questioning that. It's the overstepping your bounds and stopping the legal stuff.
I really... eventually, these payment processors are gonna piss off the wrong people. They will. They're gonna piss off the wrong people to the point...
Guys, if I had the money, it would be me. Because I'm beyond pissed off at this point. I'd be class actioning, lawsuiting all of them at once.
There's gonna be a massive antitrust lawsuit. It's only a matter of time. You can only do this so much and cripple so many big companies, and eventually you're gonna hit the wrong company and the wrong person at the wrong time, and they're gonna strike back.
Japan's already starting to strike back. A lot of these card companies are getting banned from being used in Japan. Because Japan won't have it. You don't get to arbitrarily decide a country's culture.
I would not be surprised if there already isn't a legal case building up right now.
There is.
thanks
Japan's
to
already
everything
started
going
it.
on. With all the creators on Steam just
And the credit
alone
card
being
companies think
devastated
they'll be
by
fine,
this,
but...
to the stuff that's happened to Japanese companies, to now a legal manga site, to stuff with what's going on with Roblox, to the stuff with OnlyFans. It's only a matter of time. It really is. And I think that in general, there is going to be some form of antitrust lawsuit maybe in the next year or two. I could see it. I could be wrong. I can't obviously see the future, but it just, there's no way these big
I wouldn't be surprised
keep
within
getting away with
a
something
year
like this without being stopped.
something happens.
It's insane.
The company that really needs to be hit is BlackRock. Because I kid you not, I bet you 90% of all the bad stuff that's been happening in these companies, BlackRock. Because BlackRock's trying to make these companies desperate enough that they allow someone like BlackRock to come in. But most people know by now that BlackRock is not the saving grace. It's the death sentence.
The devastation they have done to...
Because what they do is they come in acting like they're going to fix your company. Then they take out lots of loans in your name that you'll have to pay for. But they get to keep the money. They just have to spend a little bit of it, just like a portion of it, on doing stuff for your company. You know what they use it to spend it on usually? Running ad campaigns and stuff for your thing. But it's like really stupid ads or stuff that no one cares about. Like they intentionally sabotage your company.
Space online. It's crazy how unchecked they are and that they're allowed to get away with just so much damage to so many people. Thousands upon thousands of people's lives have been damaged irreparably thanks to this. Because
in the hundred thousands at this
an
point.
antitrust lawsuit happens, the damage to these companies, these brands, will never be fixed. That's the truth. It's over for them. They are. There's many artists that have lost their careers or lost their source of income because PayPal decided to get involved. It's like, oh, you can't make this icky content or whatever. It's crazy at any given moment, just like in a span of a single night, your entire source of income, your way of life is just over because PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, Stripe, payment processors in general, they decide they want to target you and they're done with you. They want you gone and you no longer can make money. You're completely destroyed. Your entire way of life is pretty much destroyed. It's honestly insane, just like how this is just continuously allowed to happen, and there's so many people that have just been damaged by this that I cannot even fathom the amount, the number associated with how many people have been damaged by this. And once again, even if there's an antitrust lawsuit that happens, and let's just say they do lose or whatever, the damage has already been done to like brands like Manga Planet. It's not going to be recoverable.
If it doesn't happen soon, they'll have already won. They'll have already gotten rid of most of these manga sites. It'll just be Crunchyroll. And that's why BlackRock's in the background trying to push these, like, internet IDs and stuff so they can get it to where people can't go to the pirate places. So they force you onto their platform. Here's the issue that BlackRock obviously is so stupid that they don't realize. Again, pirating is not theft. It is a service and it is basically competition where competition does not exist. Because you have all these monopolies, the pirating became a thing. And it is there as a counterforce to the monopoly. Carrie! Hi, Carrie.
It's still over. If companies like certain companies get shut down and they can no longer operate, they're not coming back. It's over for them. And that's just so unacceptable, and it sickens me to my very core because there is people out there right now that literally are advocating and happy stuff like this is happening. They're advocating and happy, legitimately happy that art and artists are being censored because it's content they dislike, because it's icky content to them. And they I've actively seen posts and stuff online, not just on Twitter, but on Reddit, on TikTok, on YouTube, getting thousands upon thousands of likes and views celebrating the fact that certain artists or art in general is just getting completely censored because they just don't like it. And I'm just like, that is so close-minded, because eventually censorship will hit you. It will. And if you don't stop it right now, there will be no one to help you when it does hit you. And it's so sad, man. It pisses me off seeing stuff like this happen. I'll leave it at that, though. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Leave a like as well in the video if you enjoyed it.
That's Chibi. Give him a like, subscribbles of you if you enjoyed learning about this stuff. You wouldn't leave me for another Dragon BB? Promise. You promise. Anyways,